so much. Immense thanks to Sister Shreya because on such a short notice, just 2 hours or maybe 1.5 hour notice, she's with us here. And as usual, let me just say a few things about her. All of you know she's a very famous, popular television personality. You have seen her on the Brahma Kumari's channels, which we have, The Peace of Mind and The Awakening in India, particularly. She's a graduate in English literature, having honors, and also a postgraduate in ethics and spirituality. And I always like to say this that people don't know this aspect of hers, that she has worked as a web reporter for the NDTV for 2 years in 2008 and 9, and a lot of achievements, lot of talks she's given. So I would just want to say a few lines about her and about perseverance together. So for Sister Shreya's arrival today at the workshop, we eagerly await. The golden age isn't far, she says. Let's invoke it and wait. Let's unburden the negative thoughts which we carry as extra weight, because it's of no use for us. It's a sheer waste. Let us now inculcate the perseverance within and feel its taste, and try to be away from the worldly chaos and haste. Let's try to move away from resentment, jealousy, and hate. Then we shall become a perfect diamond, which indeed has an expensive rate. And let me tell you, because for the next 3 days, our slogan is volcanic yoga for hours per day, that is 8. So as I said, we are fortunate that we are having this workshop before the 3 days of global silence retreat. So with this, without much ado, over to Sister Shreya. Thank you so much. Immense thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Om Shanti. Good evening. It's my honor to be with so many of you. And yeah, it's really nice to see that there are more than around 100 people in the workshop at this time from across the world. So thank you for having me. And I'm sure some of you might be missing Aruna Ben, but Manoj Bhai said that she's not well. And we hope that she gets well soon. And I'll try to share some of the points that when I hear the word perseverance. But before that, Manoj Bhai, till what time do I have to talk? Because we can talk for 15 minutes, 20, 30, 40. So if you can
No,
let me
no,
know
I'm sure you're capable of speaking for 1 hour, so no worries.
exactly.
So maybe we can do it till 9:30, 9:35, and then 10 minutes meditation. And I just have to show them a quick video of the Global Silence retreat, which we are starting from tomorrow worldwide. So you please go until 9:35. That's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The moment Manoj Bhai shared the word perseverance, the first thing that came to my mind was that if you look at the journey of life, it's from the very beginning, even when the child starts to learn. And I could just visualize, those books that we had where we were learning ABCD, and then we would write the whole page with A. The mother would hold the hand of the child, and we would go writing A, and we would write A like 30, 40, 50, 100 times to just learn that single alphabet A. And we went from A to Z and 1 to 100. And I realized that the whole idea of learning is by repeating it. Any form of learning in life, whether it was numbers or it was alphabets, it was about repeating it again and again. And sometimes repeating the same thing now when we grow up seems a little boring. The same things which we understood back then, even when we learned how to walk, it wasn't in a day. We crawled, we started walking, we fell a couple of times, and but we enjoyed that. There were times that our elders had to stop us, that no more trying, but we wanted to. You would leave the child and he would crawl up the stairs, you would leave him and he would crawl down the bed. And he just enjoyed the whole process of growing. He enjoyed. And there were times he would fall down and the mother would be worried. And we've all seen children and they would just look at the mother and sometimes would cry or sometimes would smile, but they never kind of let it hold them back. They just enjoyed the journey of growing, this gradual process, this perseverance of day by day, step by step. And for many, many years, this is very natural process. It's very natural. That's how we learn how to write. That's how we learn how to talk. We don't learn how to talk in just 1 hour because we live today in a world where everything is instant. It's instant coffee, it's instant success, it's instant gratification. Everything is instant. And sometimes when people come to us to the centers and they said, when will I change? When will I let go of my anger? How many days it will take? And we really don't know what to say because we've been on the journey for 10 years, 12 years, and we're still kind of dealing with it. It still comes back. And we're like, you start the journey, you enjoy the journey. It will go gradually sooner or later. But then the whole idea is, can I become angel on the seventh or eighth day? So now it's all about uh, immediately, instantly. But from the childhood, the journey is about perseverance. And what came to me, what struck me very deeply was, do I enjoy my journey? What stops us is we know anything, even simple things like driving, even simple things like skills and talents. If you see in the world, where you see people who have mastered maybe playing piano, maybe playing an instrument, maybe playing a sport, and just look at the amount of hours that go in practicing. And what I see, the most important thing is that it's not only about the destination, it's not about reaching that goal. We will reach that goal. One day, that person will become an international player, or we will achieve and get that award. But what is more important is the journey. Am I enjoying the journey? Because even a simple journey, when we take a journey, we get that ticket which is written, there's always written, have a happy and safe journey. It is never have a happy and safe destination. It's always about the journey. And sometimes the journey is small, sometimes the journey is long. But am I enjoying the journey is a very big question because most of us tend to postpone our happiness to the next goal. So, for example, if you meet the students who are in school and who are about to kind of pass out, and they just want to pass out very quickly. For the elders, everybody feels student life is the best life, but you go ask a student, they don't always feel the same thing. They feel there's a lot of discipline. Once I go to college, there'll be more freedom. I can do what I want to do. I don't have to wear the school dress anymore. I don't have this sort of discipline. So for them, they think, the happiness is in the college, and they kind of feel certain level of bondage. And you tell them, no, student life is the best life. And they're waiting to reach college. And then you reach college, of course, the first year is very blissful. It's wonderful. You try everything new, and then you think, okay, college is fine, but then once I finish my studies and I get a more stable job and I have a more stable earning, I'll be more happy. And then the next 2 or 3 years of college is like kind of struggle, competition. Somewhere it's not that much of a joy because now you see that your happiness lies in the job. And that also happens sooner or later. We all reach that point also when we have a job, we are earning, and again, 6 months are beautiful. I feel I'm financially independent, not dependent on anybody. And then another thought creeps in, just this one promotion. When I get this promotion, that's it. Then I will be happy. And then we achieve that also. And then you're like, but now what? Maybe I should settle down in life. Maybe if I have a partner to, share with at night, to celebrate with, to be, part of in my joys and in my happiness and in sorrows. And again, we know that journey. We get married, and again, few months and few years are very blissful. And then again, it's about building a relationship, lots that happen. So if you see, sometimes you reflect back, even in the journey of life, we kind of tend to postpone. And then sometimes we meet these people who are retiring, and they should be very happy because now it's all over. They can just retire and do what they want. But they are also a little stressed out. So, sometime back, I had a talk for retiring professionals, and the topic was stress free life. And I said, now what the stress is, because you're retiring. So, it's about bliss. You can do what you want to do. And they said, but that's what the stress is about, that we're retiring. We don't know what to do now. At least we knew what to do, what our role was, what our identity was, what are we going to say tomorrow, what do we do. It doesn't even feel good to say I'm a retired official. It always feels good to say that, I'm this or I'm that, because we identify with the role. So through the journey, it's about, in the journey, that happiness is there and there and there, but then it's in the moment. It's in the moment. How many of us lead the journey, no matter what the goal is, whether you're in school or you're in college or you're working, or you want to, you're working on a project, you're working on anything, whatever is your goal or whatever is your aim in this moment. Am I living in the now, in the moment, and enjoying it? And that's where spirituality plays a very deep role, when we don't live our life outside in, but we live our life inside out. In the sense, there is one thing that when I do this, I feel happy. And the other is, I do this with happiness. When I do this, I feel happy. When I achieve this, I feel happy. When I get this award, when I get 98%, I'm very happy. And the other is, I am happy and I'm going to study with happiness, and then I'm going to achieve whatever aim I have. But my happiness is not dependent on that. And that's the state of mind. Happiness is nothing, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind when no matter what, whether it's a setback or it's a challenging situation or it's not, it's one of those days when everything is not my way, but I'm able to think right. Every thought that arises in my mind, the quality is pure, the quality is elevated. And then the life that I lead is from inside out, that I radiate that happiness into everything that I'm doing. And that is only, those are the people in whom you see this perseverance, because sometimes the journey is very long. They say that, these goals, when you have to achieve, people who have a lot of perseverance, they say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a long race. It takes sometimes days, sometimes months, sometimes even years to achieve that. And am I leading that journey with complete joy, is the question I have to ask myself. And that joy I cannot take from the work that I'm doing. It is something that I have to create from within. I remember this. A lot of people who are at the centers do service. And this one of the times, this elder sister, one of her dadis, Dadi Janki, some of you might have heard the name. She said, I hope your stage is not dependent on service. And most of us went like, what does she mean? Service is something, when you do service, you feel happy. When you do service, you earn blessings. It's about serving and feeling good. So everybody feels, when I do service, I feel very happy. And she said, do you do service to feel happy, or do you do service to give happiness? And it's a big thing, because anything that we're doing in our lives, we don't need to be surrendered or living in a center to do service. We could be a nurse, we could be a clerk, we could be a businessman, we could be anything, but we're meeting people and we're radiating vibration. And what is the vibration that we're radiating through the day to the people that we're meeting, of giving or just wanting? Even a businessman, he would say, no, I'm doing this work or I'm doing this business to earn profit. But actually, that's not the truth. Any business in the world, any business you look in the world, if you reflect back, they will say, no, no, our goal is customer satisfaction and profit will come. Somewhere down the line, the intention changes to profit, but that's not the intention ever. The intention is always customer satisfaction. The customer who has come should be satisfied. And when they are satisfied, the profit will come. So in any role that you're playing, it's always about giving. It's not about taking, it's about giving. And then Dadi said something very beautiful. She said, when you do service, and in return, even if you receive happiness or if you receive blessings or you receive joy, that's the interest. But you don't lead your life on interest. You lead your life on the capital that you've accumulated. And however big the capital is, that big is the interest going to be. And then we said, from where the capital is going to come? She said, the capital is not going to come from what you do. The capital is going to come from what you are. We are not human doings, we are human beings. So it's very important to be and then to do. So it's important to be happy, to be peaceful, to be joyful, and then do what we are doing. And then what happens, very beautiful, very magical. One of the biggest achievements that I think that happens on a spiritual journey is that you are able to enjoy everything that you do, because so many people will always go on saying find your passion, find what you like to do, keep trying to find what you want to do until you don't find, keep searching, keep searching. Okay, fine, if your avocation and vocation can be same, nothing like it, it's the perfect combination that you are able to do something that you like. But that might not be the case for everyone all the time. Last year I met a boy in the COVID. He's in 10th standard, and his father got COVID, and his father was in a very serious condition, and he passed away. And this he's the only child at home, and he has a mother, not from a very very well to do family, and he is in 10th standard. He has dreams, he wants to become something. He was studying, and now suddenly he said, but then I had to take on a different role. My father has passed away and there is nobody else to earn in the home. My mother sells vegetables. And I said, what do you do? He said, I have started taking this kettle, and a big kettle. I have started taking this kettle and I sell tea, and to people, all the hawkers and everybody who the market. So he goes selling that tea, that he has glasses and the kettle, and he sells tea. And I said, are you happy? He said, yes, I have accepted the situation. And it was wonderful to see that he was not cribbing. There was a setback, there was something unexpected, but he wasn't cribbing about the situation. He said, it's okay. So during the day, I sell this tea. People are really nice to me. People buy, they're very nice, they're very compassionate. And he says, now I am, saving enough money that I can buy a phone, and I'm going to study on this phone, and I'm going to finish my studies. And it was so wonderful to see that boy, that there was a crisis in his life, but he wasn't cribbing and he wasn't saying, why did this happen to me? Because a lot of us go, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? But he was, from whole his perspective was, what am I supposed to do now? What can I do now? And immediately in 10th standard, you're 15-year-old, you have dreams, you have aspirations, you have passions, you want to do something. But sometimes life has different plans, and you have to accept the life, but live joyfully. And the best part was he was happy. He was joyful, and people, and the best thing, because he was joyful, people were very nice to him. The energy that you radiate are the kind of people you attract. So because he was very nice, he said, no, I have good business in a very little time. Whatever tea I take gets sold, and I've already started saving enough money, and I'm going to buy a phone, and I'm going to begin my studies again. So what I'm saying is that sorry, one is, it's easy to even persevere when you're doing what you like, but that may not always be the case. You may not always have an option to do what you like. There are people who want to sing, there are people who want to dance, but due to some first financial conditions, circumstances, their challenges at home, they're not always able to take up their whatever they like, and they have to sometimes choose a different career. But can I accept that also? And can I do that also joyfully? And that's when, like I was saying before, when you lead a life from inside out, you're able to do. The joy is same no matter what role you're playing. So you could be cooking in the kitchen, or you could be washing the dishes, or you could be talking in front of 100 or 1,000 people, or you could be just sitting silently studying. You feel the same joy. And when you feel the same joy, perseverance becomes very easy. You don't find it boring. It's not like today I did not succeed, so it's boring, or today was a wonderful day. Each day is beautiful. Each day has something to teach you. And the second thing, which becomes a barrier in the journey always, which even when you were revising and you were talking about is, which is very common, which becomes an obstacle in perseverance, is a failure. In that aspect, what I feel is that firstly, one should always take their own decisions in life, no matter what you decide to do. It's okay to take advice of many people. It's okay to consider not many people also, because most people will not be able to take a decision for you actually. You are the best person who can take the right decision for yourself. You know what you like, your values, your principles, your situations, your challenges, your capacities, your skills, your talents. You know the best for you. But still, if you trust few people who you know have good intentions for you or good feelings for you, it's okay to take their advice. But at the same time, one should always take their decisions. Why? Because no matter what decision you take, and that decision can be 100% right, but it doesn't mean the moment you start the journey, it'll be all uphill. The journey is always peak and valley, always peak and valley. And every time peak and valley, by peak and valley, I mean that, you go up for a while and then there is a setback or there is a failure or you make a mistake. But that doesn't mean the decision was wrong. Most of us, when we take a decision, and the first setback that comes, we think, oh, I probably made a wrong decision. No, it is just a setback. It's Tell me one person in the world who has not faced a challenge or a setback or a failure. But the most important question is that every time there's a failure, how many of us sit back and ask ourselves this question: what did I learn from this? Again, Nadi Janki would always point out, she said, so many people always say this, they're not able to forget their past or the mistakes that they have done in the past. We always talk about forget, forgive, and forget, forgive, and forget. But till you learn from that mistake, you will never be able to forget it. The whole scene had happened because you had something to learn out of it. What is a failure? It's just a different outcome than the one you had expected. You wanted a thing to be a certain way, it's a different outcome. And you had already seen an outcome in your mind. So a lot of times we see the future in our mind and we get attached to that future which has not happened. We don't flow with the life, we get attached to it. And sometimes when the scene doesn't turn out that way, we become a little bitter. I remember this boy, very sharp, very intelligent, and his goal, his aim was, he was an IIT student. He performed very well. He had good grades, but he had only one desire. His desire was to get into this company, Samsung, and he was very capable. Everybody thought that he'll make it. And again, he had this quality of perseverance, hard work, perseverance, did everything in his capacity, went for the interview. Everybody expected him to clear, but he had first waiting, which was okay. Then again, everybody felt that he'll clear it. But sometimes, you do everything, things don't turn out your way. It just life is, and there is some benefit in that, and we need to see that benefit. But again, that boy was really taken aback that he did not clear. Now he comes from a very reputable family, but also a very wealthy family, and this boy started to feel very sad, and there was a lot of sorrow, and it was like the initial stages of depression because he just couldn't believe that he could get in. And again, everybody started saying, how could he not clear it? He was so intelligent. And that, that whole fear of how I'm going to face other people and what are they going to say. So this whole cycle started. So because parents, it's sometimes the love gets into attachment, and just out of that attachment you start using unethical methods because just you want to see the child happy. So they tried all sorts of means, which you understand, people who could get him through the company, money and sources and everything. The father tried very hard, didn't happen. And when that also didn't work, this boy started to go into depression, and he is in depression. And now everybody tells them that you're so intelligent. It's okay if you didn't get into this company. It's perfectly all right. You have the intelligence, you have the perseverance, you have everything. You'll get into some another company. But no, that boy had seen something in his mind and had become so attached to it that when it didn't happen, now he is in depression. Now you tell me, people tell you see dreams, see dreams. Yes, see dreams. It's good to see dreams. But it's not good to see dreams and get attached to them to such an extent that if they don't come true for some reason, and so many of us later in our life says, now I realize why that didn't happen. I am so glad that didn't happen. I am so glad that this happened in my life. But in that moment, were we able to tell ourselves, maybe there is something better for me? Maybe if one door closes, another one will open. Did I have that faith and belief in myself to leave that attachment with that image that I had seen and move on? Success is not always being intelligent. That boy was very intelligent because, this perseverance, in Hindi we say, दृढ़ता ही सफलता की चाबी है. In English, it is determination is the key to success. So you think if I'm very determined, it will lead to success? Yes, but I also need to understand what success is. Success is not always about being achieving that financial independence. Yes, that is success. You're earning well. That is financially you are successful. But in totality, success is also being emotionally successful, at the level of relationships being successful, at the level of health being successful. So if you see somebody who's earned a lot of money but has lost his health, has a lot of relationship problems because he didn't put that time and energy in building a relationship or didn't care about them, or most important, he's not feeling good about it, because sometimes just to achieve that goal we can become unethical. And the moment we become, and in the reason why we become unethical is because we don't enjoy the journey and we think the whole happiness lies in the destination. We think the happiness lies in that when I get into that company, when I get that award, when I get that project, when I get that seat, that's where the happiness lies. And the soul craves happiness. The soul does not crave the position so much. It's not about the position, it's not about the company, it's about that feeling good. And I think I'm going to only feel good, and I'm only going to feel that joy and happiness and ecstasy when I achieve it. And that feeling to achieve is so strong that I allow myself to compromise with my values and with my principles. And the moment I compromise with my values and principles, I become a little unethical, that I lie a little bit, or I take a little bribe, or use any other means which is contradicting my values and principles. Then I become successful externally. I might get the position, I might get the company, I might get the award, but internally I feel very empty. And there's so many people who are externally so successful, and they may come across to you very determined, but at the same time, they may not be very happy because they might have compromised in their journey. So, yes, we have to achieve success, but step by step, never compromising with our principles, with our original nature. We can't be empty inside and look for happiness outside. That's never going to happen. Even today in the afternoon, I had a talk where I was sharing that some days back I met this police officer who was sharing a story that he has two children. And he said that I just wanted my children to do well and to settle down well. And therefore, I made a lot of compromises in my life, and I lied a little and I took a little bit of bribe. And externally, I'm very successful. I have medals and I've been awarded by the government. And I said, so now what? He said, my one child is in this country, my one child is in that country. I said, but everything has worked out fine for you. Uh, you know, that is why people say you do wrong and still you do well. See, everything has worked out fine. What you wanted, you've achieved. Your children are where you wanted to be. He said, yes, but this is something I can only tell you, that I constantly live in fear and anxiety and I can't sleep. I said, why? He said, because I've done so much wrong. And I think, what if somebody gets to know? There's so many people who know about it. And I feel that the image that I have built over the years will, what will happen if somebody gets to know? I will be completely at loss. And that fear nags me day in and day night, and I'm not able to sleep. And there was a man sitting in front of me. Very clearly, I could see that in terms of worldly terms, he was successful, he had position, he had earned a lot of money, he had medals, he was respected in the society. People, you know, feared him. And here was a man who, when he was sharing his heart, said, I live in fear. My conscience prick all the time. And that's what I want to bring to your notice, that success is not always external. You need to feel good. You need to feel peaceful. You need to feel comfortable. You need to do right no matter what. And it requires a lot of perseverance to do right. It requires a lot of perseverance to stand to right no matter what. There might be times when you're standing all alone on one side, because we're also living in times when most people are doing either what the majority is doing because we think what majority is doing is right, or we end up doing what pleases other people, because again our happiness lies there. So when we please other people and they appreciate and they approve and they give us all the privileges, we feel very good. So either we do what pleases other people, or we do what majority thinks is right, or sometimes we know it is not right, but I just want to do it, it's my desire. I want to do it because I think I feel good after it. But none of them will make you feel good. What will make you feel good is not what majority is doing, not when you please other people, and not even do what you desire, but follow the path of truth. Follow the path of truth. So you can be on a journey for a long time, but if that journey is not filled with happiness, and if this journey is not led on the path of truth, there will not be contentment in life. And we have so many stories of perseverance. The other one that comes to my mind is there's this woman in Zimbabwe. Her name is Terry. And this woman, somebody who loved to study, but again, this is a story of 2000s, not very old. This is this century. But again, her parents were not comfortable with making the daughter study. They had a son. So this Terry enjoyed studying a lot, and she would do her brother's homework. And the brother, when he went to the school, the teachers realized that the brother doesn't know anything. So who's doing the homework? And then they realized that it's his elder sister who is doing the homework. So the teacher came back home and requested the parents that you let Terry study because she's really good. But the parents said, no, 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 we can't afford all our children studying, so we'll make the boys study. And they marry her at an age 11 and a half. 11 and a half, she's married. By 18, she has 3 children. And then some NGO from USA comes down to that village in Zimbabwe. They meet this woman like they were meeting other women, and they ask her, do you have some dreams? And she's never given a thought to her dreams. It's all about getting married and taking care of the children. But because they asked, so she says, yes, I dream to go to USA and I want to have a college degree. And they make her write that dream on a page of on a piece of paper, and they put it in a tin box and they bury it in, and they say, hold on to your dream. What you were talking in your practice sessions, to have that very determined thought. It begins with the thought, very determined thought. And you will not believe that through some magic only, you can say that that NGO funded her education, and she went to USA and she got the college degree, which was supposed to be 4 years. She got it in 3 years. And then she came back, and that NGO again asked her, do you have another dream? And she said, yes, I would like to go back to US and get a master's degree. And she again writes it down, puts it in the tin box, buries it, but has a very determined thought. It's not about the exercise, it's about that very determined thought. And again, the NGO funds her education. She goes and gets the master's degree. And then she comes back and they said, do you have another dream? By now, she already has 5 children, and she has a very abusive husband who beats her a lot. And she said, my final dream is that I want to do PhD and get a doctorate degree. And in 2013, she got a doctorate degree. So It's ordinary people, but when they have a determined thought, you attract that energy from the universe. But intent has to be pure. It's always that intent. If your intention is not pure, because the whole idea of law of attraction, what we think is what we get, it's not always that. It's not always what we think, what we get. It's what we are is what we are going to attract. It's not just about what I want, I will get that. It's what we are is what we're going to attract. So if I am that determined and honest and joyful, I will attract that back in my world. Another story that I remember, very practical and real stories, is one of the elder sisters, one of the dadis. She's no more. She was the administrative head of Brahma Kumaris. We lovingly called her Gulzar Dadi. But she shares the story of the older days when probably she was 21 and 22, and the World Service started, and they had to go to different cities to open these centers where you see the centers where sisters live and do the service. And this is a story when the founder father asked her that you have to go to Lucknow to start this service. And she said, when he said Lucknow, I didn't even know that Lucknow was the name of a place, or was it something to eat? What is this? I had heard that name for the first time in my life. And she said, where is Lucknow? How will I find Lucknow? And the founder father very lovingly said that you don't worry, that you will, you just begin the journey. And imagine at an age of, this is long back, this is before 69, young, innocent, don't know much about the world, don't even know much about the money, boards the train, reaches Lucknow. There is nothing. Where do you go? So she comes out and she said, where do I go? And she asked that person outside that if somebody new comes in the city, where do they go? So they said, when somebody new comes, they go to a dharamshala. Dharamshala is a guest house, but not a very nice guest house. It's like one room which has 20 beds, and everybody shares the room, and you share a common toilet. It's not like a hotel. So they said they go to a Sharamshala, and she said, they're two sisters, and said, okay, take me to a Dharamshala, but very determined that God has asked me to start service in the city, and I have to. How, I don't know, but I have to. And they go there. Now what? Now next, just imagine, just put yourself in a situation. 2021, not much money, no place to stay. You come in a foreign land. You don't know, but you have to begin service there. How do you do it? But faith, so much faith, so much conviction. They were young and innocent, but they had a lot of conviction, and that conviction and the power came from God. I have felt that you can have a determined thought, but where will you get the power to fulfill that aim? Determination is not enough. Determination is not enough. With determination and perseverance, you need power, you need willpower, you need, and that power comes from meditation. That power comes when you connect with God, who is ocean of powers. That power comes from God to fulfill that determined thought. Whatever thought you have, to fulfill it, you need the power. And these women, young girls, just didn't have the determined thought, but had power. And somebody told them, they said, we need a place. We need a place to start service. And they said, but where will you get a place? It's an expensive area. And they said, these ministers get a home. There is this place called Darushafa. These ministers get a home, but they don't live in there. All their flats are lying empty. You can take one of the flat and can start the service there. And they said, but who has the authority to sanction these flats? And he said, Chief Minister. They said, Chief Minister, now how do I reach Chief Minister? They said, the Chief Minister is coming here and here, but make sure that you write the letter and you give it in the hand of Chief Minister, not to the secretary. Because if you give it to secretary, I promise it will go to the waste paper basket. So very firm, they write the letter and they go where the chief minister is coming, and there are hundreds of people there, hundreds of people. And then they don't know, very naive. So they ask somebody, who among these hundreds is chief minister? And he said, he's yet to come. We're all waiting for him. None of us are chief minister. He's yet to come. And this chief minister is this very humble old person who had been in prison also for some time. So he comes, and the intent was very pure, was to do service. There was honesty, there was purity in the thought, there was willpower from God. They were just standing, and he comes and stands in front of them. He leaves everybody, he comes and stands in front of them. He said, what are you young children doing here? It's What are you doing here? And they said, we are here in your state to do godly service. We are here to spread love and peace and happiness. We are here to help people increase their emotional health. And the language that person had never heard. And he said, it's your age to dance and to study, and it's not your age to do all this. He said, no, 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 but God has told us, you give us a place. We know these flats are empty. And he says, but I can't give you this. You are young girls, you go away. I can't sign here. And that sister says, we are not leaving till you sign. And then the minister says, I'm sorry, I can't sign. It's not the law. And he says, we are going to sit here whole night if you don't sign. And here, this is a person who is not even signing, and he is not even moving, as if somebody is inspiring him, as if somebody is pulling his intellect, as if some vibration is working on him of purity, of innocence, of God. God is magic. We have to have faith and experiment with his powers and not just our powers. I did that mistake once when I thought willpower is enough, and I realized it's too much effort to lead a life just on willpower. You see the changes, but this much. And then when you start using his powers, then miracles happens, magic happens, and he's not even moving, and they are determined. They're just standing there, and the whole crowd is looking. he this minister is not even moving, he's not even signing. And after 10 minutes of this conversation, he takes the letter and signs it for 3 months. He said, here, you do the seva here for 3 months. And what I learned from the whole story was just perseverance is not enough, it's the intention. Check your intent behind the aim. If the intent is very pure and the thought is determined and it is mixed by the power of God, 100% you're going to receive the result, much more than your capacity, 100 times more than your capacity. That's where you feel God's magic. And we need to experience that magic. Why not? Why not experience His magic? Why are we here otherwise? Why do we have to do everything on our own? Why? We say almighty authority and then we don't use His powers. Then what's the joy in life? Just doing this much when we can do this much. And using His powers, and it's almost time, but the last thing that I will, and with that I will end, that it's using His powers that we don't only achieve everything outside, but the most important thing that we're here on this journey is to reach our own elevated self, our own highest self, that to achieve that very pure self, not this angry, jealous, fearful, worrying, depressed, but somebody who is very kind, peaceful, happy, compassionate. And we can become them. We are that. And His powers allow us to transform even those sanskars. Those deep rooted sanskars, which today psychiatrists and psychologists will say are impossible to change. They will say it's hereditary, or they will say it's DNA, or they will say it's genetics and everything. But it's possible to change any sanskar, because how is a sanskar formed? How is the habit formed? It's very simple. But I don't know why we complicate things. Simple habit of alcohol. You don't have a habit. You go to a party. There is this mind. Two lawyers fight. One says, should I drink? The other says, no, 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 it will become a habit. Then the other one says, let me try once. The other one says, no, no, if you try once, you would want to do it again. Then he says, but life is about experimenting. Let me just do it once. Then the other lawyer will say, no, everything begins with one. If you do it once, then there'll be the urge to do it another time. There's two lawyers fighting, fighting, fighting. Again, if the soul is weak, lawyers never take the decision is taken by the judge. So it's all depends on the intellect. So mind can fight as much as it wants to, but if the intellect is weak, it will say, okay, let me just try once. And when you do it once, it does not become a habit. No, you just tried it once, but you've tasted it. So now that that feeling is there, you know how it feels. Now the memory is there, the memory of that feeling is there. So next time you go to the party, the memory will trigger, and there these lawyers are ready to fight again. And then again this lawyer wins, and I say, okay, one more time. And I don't know how they count, but in psychology they say that if you do it, some say if you do it 9 times, some say you do it 21 times, it becomes a habit. I have no idea. So you can't take that from me. I don't know if it's 21, 8, or 9, but all I know is if you do it multiple times, it becomes a habit. Whether it's a habit to drink, whether it's habit to get angry, whether it's habit to be lazy or to worry, we just have to do opposite. We just have to do this opposite. So today I choose, okay, I will not get angry. And again, these two lawyers will come. And one will say, if you don't get angry, they will not do the work. And this lawyer will say, but my aim is not only to get work done, it's also about the relationship. And then this lawyer will say, forget the relationship. What about the target and deadline? And this lawyer will say, I will achieve the deadline and target, but I will not be happy because people will not bless me. And it goes and it goes. And then if it's a determined thought and you say, no matter what, I am not going to get angry. And the withdrawal symptoms are going to be very high. Work will not happen. People will not do things my way, but I'll be okay. I will not lose my peace of mind. My health will be fine. My relationships will be okay. And the environment will be friendly. But again, this lawyer will push me. But what about the work? Work. And it will tell me, get little angry. Just show it off, not from within, just at the level of words. It never happens. Don't try this also. Even the best actors have to feel within to act. We're not such good actors that we don't feel and do it at an external level. But what I'm trying to say is it's the perseverance, and over a period of time, you can change any habit. Any habit. Of course, it takes time. It's not the 6th day or the 7th day, but it starts reducing. So it's no more an outburst. It's no more at a verbal level. There might be a little irritation. Then it might be a little bossiness, but it reduces, 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 reduces to an extent where peace becomes your natural nature. So anything that you want to acquire, whether it's an external level, it could be from walking, writing, learning a piano, or something you like, something you don't like, you can achieve it, even transforming a sanskar, even doing service in a new city, anything. Just don't be afraid of the failures. They're there to teach you something. Learn from them. God whispers to you. Try to hear the whisper, and you will thank the failure. You will thank the setback. You will thank the hurdle that you made me a better person. And second, have very pure intent. Because if intent is not pure, success will not come. That success where you feel good and even externally you are successful, that holistic success will not come. So very pure intent. Those are some of the thoughts. It's quite the time now. So tell me if there anybody you want to share something, have questions, or we can move into meditation.
Sure. Thank you so much once again. And can't stop thanking you from inside. And also, I think it has just inspired all of us. We had this thought in our minds, as you mentioned today rightly, about the power, which is very important, along with the proper intent what we have. So it has inspired us that for the participants who are more than 100 today, we thought let's from the next month onwards have one power, all the powers of Raj Yoga which we acquire through the meditation which we do here. So we'll be covering for all the participants, this is the announcement, one power a month till we move on to the Navratri, that is the Dashera. So from Feb onwards till September. So thank you so much for your sharings. And now I would invite both our seniors, as always, Dr. Ashok Mehta first, followed by Sister Claudia, to propose the vote of thanks. Yeah.
It's such a pleasure to listen to Shreya Ben. Still listen. I mean, she was like a free-flowing Ganges. The waters were just flowing. It was so beautiful. The stories, one after another. I think these are the best stories I heard. I will remember most of them, especially that young boy who gave tea to the vendors. As a matter of fact, a thought came to me to ask Shreya Ben whether I can contribute to his telephone or his mobile. That's how you touch people. I think it's fascinating to listen to Shreya Ben. I think there's no way to describe her except the flow, the waterfalls, the flowing water, the powers that she talks about is superb. I think we should have her more often with us and we should enjoy listening to the stories that she can tell us. And when you give her 1.5 hours, suppose if you had given her 7 days, how beautiful it would have been.
It's always wonderful to meet you, Ashok Bhai, and your blessings are always there. I mean, I always felt your blessings, and I think it's the blessings of all the seniors that keeps us going. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Shreya Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, over to Sister Claudia. Yeah.
Shanti, thank you for coming today in the last moment, and you are just perfect for today. I quite enjoy your talk. It's very nice, especially when you talk about this. The intention that helps us to reach our goal, because if there is a pure intention, that everything is going to happen. But if any impure intention, you can bribe, you can fight, you can get everything, you cannot get it. So a very good awareness that we have to have on that one. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you coming today and for
Thank
all
you.
of us. And
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
sure everybody enjoy. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you for your good wishes. Thank you.
So thank you both of you. And Sister Shreya, before we go into the meditation, I'll just do a few quick announcements. Okay. Yeah. So as all of you know, please hold on to the announcements and hold on from tomorrow onwards. 3 days are very important for us. All the spiritual seekers also in the audience. As you can see, I've put it up for you. We are having this in English, United Volcanic Remembrance of the One. We are trying to practice every day 8 hours silence. It's on a global level, and you can see all the dots connected will really make a difference here. In Hindi, we call it Bas Ek Hi Jwalamukhi Yaad. Let me just give you a glimpse in again English and Hindi what we'll be doing on these 3 days. I won't go in the details of the entire routine, but to let you know that starting from Amrit Vela till the time you retire to bed, at different intervals we are trying to practice silence. And in the morning it's 2 hours at Amrit Vela, then you can see it's half an hour pre and post Murli, then at different times whatever you feel is suitable for you, and then in the evenings and also in the what we call the Nimasham, the evening meditation. And we have with us the blessings of all our seniors. So as you know, the first day is bodiless stage, the second day is angelic, and third is the lighthouse, might house. And each day we have our seniors. So the first day we have a half an hour talk by Mohini Didi, from US on being bodiless. Second day it's Jayanti Didi from London on angelic consciousness, and third day it's Brijmohan Bhaisab from Mount Abu on practicing how to be a lighthouse and might house, and that is the auspicious 18 January day, which is, as all of you have heard today, it's the founder father's ascension day when he achieved his complete stage, or what we say the perfect stage. So please, we in your emails also we have rolled out the website details. You can please go through that and make sure, if not 8 according to your convenience, please make sure you practice a lot of silence in these 3 days. And continuing further on our journey is the next episode on obedience. We chose this value for the month of January because being obedient to the what we call the divine order, or the Srimat, what we call in Hindi, will really reap us more benefits, which is one more value which leads to success. And the workshop followed by that will be our very senior sister, Dr. Kala, all the way from Peace Village, New York. And I would at this point stop sharing the screen and show you just a 1.5 minute video of what this is all about, the global silence bhatti, just 1.5 more minute, and so that all of you can know what it is about. So thank you all for bearing with this, and over to Sister Shreya for the closing meditation. Thank you.
Okay, so just sit comfortably the next few minutes. Relax your body and release all tension. Just come into the moment. And in this moment, bring in your awareness, your current goal. It could be very small. It could be a project, a habit. Whatever it is, bring on the screen of the mind and just check your intention. Is the intent behind this goal for my upliftment? Is it for the service of humanity? And if the intent is pure, then begin the journey. The journey of 1,000 miles always begins with the first step. Begin the journey. Complete determination, with conviction, that I'm not alone. I may be weak, but I'm combined with Almighty, one who is powerful, who's my Father, who's guiding me all the time. I know that success is my birthright. I know I just have to take another step of courage, and I will receive His multifold help. Let there be no fear. It's a journey of peak and valley. There will be setbacks, challenges, failures. That is okay. They're not obstacles, but stepping stone to my life. Every challenge is a lesson in disguise. It only makes me stronger, more powerful. So let me not question the challenges, but learn the lessons. And even if I make a wrong decision, it's okay. When I know better, I do better. In that moment, I felt this was the best thing to do. I chose to do it, and I have no regrets. I chose it consciously, and I've learned my lesson. I've become a better person, more mature, more tolerant, more accepting. I've grown in every aspect of my life. I don't fear failures or mistakes. They always add to my personality. And I'm not afraid of making decisions. Neither I'm afraid of their consequences, because I know that there is no selfish motive. I know deep in my heart that because my intention is pure, I will receive help. Help from people, from universe, and from God. With this faith and conviction, I begin a new journey, completely carefree. That success is my birthright. Om Shanti.
Shanti. Thank you so much once again.
I think we'll
As
take a
Dr.
picture
Mehta,
today.
yeah. And as Dr. Mehta said, we'll be calling you more often. Hope you can give us some more. Yeah, thanks
Always wonderful to meet the family. Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, so I think Anu's sister wants to take a photograph. So all of you can please switch on your video cameras and
Still waiting for all to open your video, and we are taking the empowerment and silence. Thank you so much to Shreya sister.
Okay.
It. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Om Shanti.